Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. Hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. Right, so we've got an interesting conversation here from a question that is like, it has no upvotes. It's only been like submitted in the last couple of hours, but it's one of those situations where my intuition, my nudge, my download, whatever you want to call it, kind of like, okay, we're going to talk about this. I think this is a good time to review it, especially when we have talked about it before. So it would be good to have like a little update concerning that connection. However, there's been more people complaining. Hold on, I know that. There you go. Jingle, jingle. Yay, Fesmus. Jingle, jingle. The complaints I'm getting. I thought there was only one. There's been Linda as well. Loads of people complaining about the lack of jingle bells. There you go. Oh dear, the simple things, isn't it? The simple pleasures. It's awesome. I love it. So definitely we can claim them back in depreciation and stuff. HMRC are going to be proud of us. Yay. So there was another... there's 2 points, bit of feedback type malarkey before we get into the reading, as I always like to do and stuff like that, because it is a conversation. Greatest Good Village, that's what we're here for, and that is sexy and yummy and awesome, and we should be proud of what we're building here, my dears. So, Amanda mentioned in a comment here, who said, Gigi, yes, something doesn't seem right. Most of us in the village are sharing, thumbs up, etc., but the subs stay the same. Bit sus if you ask me. Right. I don't know what's going on either. To be totally frank, honest, open, transparent, etc., other buzzwords are available. Right. I genuinely do not know what's going on. Okay. I genuinely appreciate your kindness and generosity of hyping if you get the option, thumbing up, sharing, all that good jazz. It is phenomenal and sexy, and thank you. Now, I do like... it's hard to describe. Unlike a majority of other YouTubers, okay, and I don't mean any disrespect or anything like that, I don't spend my time looking at all the analytics and things like that. Okay. All these numbers and crunching and things like that. So it's rare that I check on the subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. However, it has been going on for a couple of months now where, and I think I did mention it before, like on the dashboard, it says, oh, you've increased X amount of subscribers, but the number doesn't change. And I don't know what's going on. I genuinely do not know what's going on. I do genuinely appreciate everything that you're doing to support the channel. It is breathtaking. Like there's a majority of the videos, just as an example, are getting like 200 plus thumbs up and stuff like that. There are some that are like 300 plus thumbs up and things. And it's like, wow, it's just like resonate. It's just like a blessing and beautiful and sexy. But it's weird that we're not kind of reaping the benefits, as Amanda is saying. I genuinely have no conclusion, answer. I have no idea. Amanda does continue in a beautifully sucky up sort of way. You should be at least 40,000 by now. That's a big number, love. That's I don't know if I can count that high. I don't know if you can either, my love. But definitely I can. But I thank you. Yeah. It is bizarre, confusing. I genuinely don't know. If you have any suggestions of what's going on and stuff like that, put them in the comments down below, as always. She finally continues, anyway, thank you. I will be able to become a member in the new year. Thank you, my sweet pea. Warm, fuzzy feeling to you. Thank you so much. Much love to you. As I said, I genuinely don't know. So it's just it's baffling as much as to you and me and all that kind of stuff. I have just yeah. But thank you for also acknowledging it as well, because when I do check the facts and figures and stuff like that, it is baffling. It genuinely, and that's why I did mention a couple of readings ago that it's okay to some extent, that we are, and I don't mean this in the religious sense, because there is no Kool-Aid available, right? I mean it in the kind of Star Trek-y, Doctor Who kind of Red Dwarf kind of sense, but we are very much a little cult kind of like existence in the corner kind of thing. And I have noticed, not that I'm jealous or anything, but I have noticed, because I'm proud that they're cutting through and making like inroads and things, that other channels have kind of been able to do sexy in their own worlds, and that's phenomenal. And it is confusing. I just don't know. The other subject I would just like to say before we get into this particular question is, and I have mentioned it on the elite members side, as Amanda has mentioned, which get extra videos and stuff like that as well, and generally helps out the channel phenomenally, mainly in my coffee fund. It's just like keep me fueled so I can keep going. Thank you for everybody who does that. We are, because I have a phenomenal feedback concerning, because obviously Indoors a couple of weeks ago was made redundant and like trying to work stuff out and blah blah blah. If you've been around what's going on. And obviously we're trying to head towards our homestead, our farm, our small holding, whatever you want to call it. And because of like randomly Monday morning, no one saw it coming. Like all 10 of them are now been all made redundant. 8 of them were at the time, and then 2 left kind of like to wind everything down. The whole business has been taxed to oblivion type thing, basically. So it's closed completely. So it's been a squeaky bum time kind of situation. And it's been such a blessing that people have been contributing with super thanks and stuff like that as well. So it's like, thank you. So we're a bit short, and we're trying to work out how to do that. Now, I've been reviewing, and like I said, this is a continuation of conversation that's from the elite, so sorry to repeat myself. But I'm reviewing ways of, because it's really important to me that something kind of physical, at certain levels, because obviously it's investment of the land, it's also investment in things, and you get benefits from that. And I am no way committing to anything today. But I just wanted to also acknowledge here, these are the sorts of things we're thinking about. Okay. So as an example, I'm looking into possibly, because we need to build a farm, possibly, because most likely it's going to be kind of like raw ground, as it were, new ground. So it would, we need to build a barn, for example, with an office. So we were thinking about maybe at certain levels of contribution to help us fill the gap, that you get a brick engraved with your name and stuff like that in the wall of the office, as an example. Like further afield, like thinking about maybe, if we are in the UK, maybe that you get a subscription of certain produce from the farm for a certain amount of time as a thank you, because you're basically paying up up front, if you get me, for the produce. But if because the way things are right now in the UK, we are looking further afield as well. See what I did there. So obviously, moving, shipping produce from, as an example, Portugal, frowned upon. But certain products, it might work, if you get me. So it's one of those situations where, like, how does that look? How does that, because I really want to give thanks to the blessings and people generosity and things like that, to actually get something back in, as thanks. So that's where we're thinking right now. If you've got any ideas about that kind of thing, please put them in the comments down below, so that because it's that one of those weird balancing acts, because obviously it's like finishing off the deposit for the land, but then obviously it's like then to kind of invest in the land for a bit, and that it's a lot of Excel spreadsheets and it hurts. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I would love to hear your feedback and suggestions of other things and that kind of stuff. If we're like, I can foresee if it's in the UK, then obviously we can ship. There are facilities within like UPS, and I have had a quick look, UPS and even Royal Mail, where you can ship produce, but it has to be packed a certain way and that kind of thing, so that we can, you're making that investment, and then you know that you're getting stuff and like fresh eggs and blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So it's it's in that sort of stage right now. Because I know that a lot of people were suggesting maybe a GoFundMe or a Patreon or that. And the other thing about that is they're all independent platforms, which means that they don't like talking to each other, which means that if you do one, how do you unlock the goodies of the other? Do you see what I'm saying? As a thanks and a for you, as a gratitude and a blessing that you've given, that kind of thing. Right, so that's the complications right now. So just to keep you abreast of the situation there. Right, let's cleanse the air. Let's do a Bronwyn Cove Tarot. There we go. She has a bell. I've got the jingle. There we go. Yeah, enough. All right. Happy now. So this question came in from, my God, that font for me on that screen is way too small. Hold on. There we go. I can see it now. From Angela. Hello, love. There was no upvotes. Like I said, I nabbed it quick. And she says, hello, Gigi, you lovely boy. Oh, hello. Oh, there's some flirting going on. Oh, my. A little bit of George K there. Oh, my. Can we have a reading on the outcome of the dispute between Stephen Laxly, okay, Tommy Robinson, right, and Nigel Farage regarding Nigel's alleged comments on Tommy Robinson's criminality and abuse? Hugs, kissings, no tongues. Okay, that's fair. Okay, all right. Tongues for extra special people. I get that. All right, that's fair enough. That's respect. That'll do, Donkey. That'll do. Oh, we're all crazy here. It helps, doesn't it? Doesn't it help? Right, so let's have a look here. Between Nigel Farage and that kind of thing. Because we did, and like Katie Hopkins is involved in this kind of thing. Yeah, they've all got their part to play. And I appreciate that there is a kind of Ben Habib kind of fan club here as well. The reason why I haven't done a reading involving him in some way, shape, but he's gone like really off-piste in my, like, energetically kind of. Rupert Lowe, however, got a part to play, like we talked about before. Yeah. So, Sun card, happiest card in the deck. Ooh, happy job, victory, success. Okay, burdens and King of Swords. I really don't know what it is with the King of Swords recently. Once again, it's coming up as kind of knee-jerk reactor, more kind of Queen of Swords, cutting crap out. Cutting out this burden, cutting out this thing here. Yeah, notice how he's even looking, because we like looking at the pretty pictures. He's looking at this burden, cutting it out. This is phenomenal. Okay? This is phenomenal. Now, before we even get anywhere, I'm getting a nudge, download, malarkey, whatever. You have to remember, and we sometimes is like, oh, bloody flipping. How we need to remember that each element of like that I've highlighted, even like Russell Brand and so on and so forth, each element of these people have their own like mission, yeah, their own calling, their own kind of thing. And so like good old Nigel is trying to build a political force, okay? Tommy Robinson is primarily trying to cause mischief to highlight important factors and issues and stuff like that, okay? They're not necessarily compatible because they've got two different agendas in that respect, if you get me, okay? So this here is a huge breakthrough. I like it. Hierophant. Ooh. I'm surprised that's not, to be honest here, I'm surprised that's not the Justice card. Because the Hierophant here is very much like, I'm getting more organized religions, which is kind of beliefs, rules, regulations in that respect. So he's been very principled on where his approach has been. It is fascinating to me that even like a Mike Graham, who I didn't really know, is very much London-centric, isn't he? So it wasn't until very recently where it was like a national broadcast, like he kind of came on my horizon kind of radar thing. And the recent stuff makes sense. It's kind of like, okay, his finger pulse kind of seems to be talking like all in the same kind of agenda, as it were, highlighting concerning things. So it's interesting that like seeing Mike Graham like several years ago seems very kind of, who is this guy? There's not the, do you see what I mean? It's like it's not the same sort of figure. Similar here with Tommy, where his motivations haven't changed, right? Hierophant belief structure. His approach has. Everyone's matured slightly, yeah? So, and similar with Nigel, consistency, if you get me. There's been consistency. These are like the two main figureheads that are kind of woken up, even like Kate Hopkins, woken up, been very consistent. Rightly or wrongly, your choice, whatever. But yeah, I'll say it. He was right. He was right about certain grooming type malarkey gangs. Yeah. And it's still nowhere for move forward, has it? Even to this point, when it's mainstream or legacy media news type thing, still ain't got very far, has it? Knight of Swords. Ooh, truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data rushing in here. Hermit, reflection. It's interesting that it's like on Nigel's kind of reform side here. This feels, obviously it's data, it's information, but it feels like it's under the table. It feels like that this is something that reform can't talk about or highlight in a particular way. It feels like there is some form of taboo about this, but it doesn't feel like it's like racist or anything. It feels like this is like something that needs to be exposed, but they're not the facility to do it. But it's not from it's not from a place that they don't want to. It's a place that they're not, if it came from them, it would be attacked, belittled, this, that, and the other. And yes, to some extent, obviously from Tommy as well. But it feels like if Tommy says it, not only can Reform react to it and kind of support it in some way, shape or form and bring more highlight and start the conversation from Tommy's start, if you get me. But this feels like a very troubling I'll say accusation. The numbers don't add up. That kind of energy here. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles. Difficult decision. Well, not necessarily difficult decision, but it's like from this reflection, they're making a decision. I like the mumsy card here on Tommy's side. Okay. I will say this. It's kind of bubbling underneath this that the main issue, concern, problem for Reform is that just look in the last couple of weeks with trying to smear good old Nigel as like with anti-Semitic stuff and bullying claims and like 50 years ago and that kind of thing. And I'll remind you again that the fact that's just like for me, similar to Trumpy Trump to some extent. Trumpy Trump is one of the most investigated people pretty much ever, let's be honest. The amount of allegations and lawsuits and this, that and the other and discovery and blah, blah, blah and stuff and malarkey over many, 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 many years. If they had properly found something instead of a random kind of weird, like technicality thing, which was, if I remember correctly, because there's so many, which not to get them confused, but I'm sure that one was thrown out, as it were, like for bookkeeping-y type weirdness. If that's the best they can find, if you get me, if that's the best they can find, because if there was a connection with Epstein, it would have come out by now. Let's be honest, with Trumpy Trump. It would have. It's smear kind of like campaign, all that kind of stuff, like they're trying to do now with releasing the photos early and like the connections and blah blah blah. You see what I'm saying? If there was something tangible, if there was something there, it would have come out way sooner than this. Similar with Nigel. If this is the best they could do, that like you may not agree with him. However, it ain't come out. Do you see what I'm saying? So the choice here, very much so, is about whether or not to openly kind of accept kind of Tommy and his ilk, as it were, bunny flops, because that's suddenly opening the can of worms that they've been so successful right now of shutting down. Does that make sense? I hope so. It's like how can we acknowledge Tommy and his team and people and like his causes without through BBC, Sky News, ITV News, blah, 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 the way it's reported, that it doesn't backfire. I hope that makes sense. Bearing in mind, even I've said, he's been proven right. Yeah, he's been proven right. So, there's the worry, 5 of Pentacles. The concern, out in the cold, that kind of thing. So there's unofficial communication happening here, or will be happening very soon. Like, this is a snapshot of now. This feels like some sort of leak, some sort of... it's a numbers game. There's something here about a numbers game where it... And it's based on a technicality. And it feels like a legal thing. And it's one of those situations where the numbers don't make sense, if you get me. It's like it's it's like it's like real, and this technicality, and the best term here, fake numbers based on this technicality thing are blended together for overall stats of something, to justify things, to justify positions, to move. It's something weird like that. And obviously Tommy's got the balls to do it. It feels as if, and maybe this will come out a bit more later, but it feels as if this exposure will show the amount of wasted resources being done, which are then being removed from real to fake technicality thing. Overarching energy, the Knight of Cups. So there is definitely this offer here, but they are very worried to keep it on the down low kind of thing here. Ace of Pentacles, opportunity, planting the seed. So that, like I said, this is not about this is not about a personal vendetta between the two. This is about, and I think they all understand it, because victory, success, happy, joy over here with Tommy, over here. They all understand, they're all on the same page, but not necessarily the same paragraphs. And what I'm being reminded of here, or as a kind of like a mirror kind of situation, and I don't mean any disrespect with this either, but it's a similar I think this proposal, or this situation here, is a similar setup to Labour and unions. Technically separate entities, but technically they're, that kind of thing. Yeah. There is, but it's definitely reformed to Tommy, the data. It's definitely, and I want to be absolutely clear, they're not using him as a bunny flop, useful idiot. It's like, you can expose this and like really get the message out. And then we can jump on the bandwagon afterwards. But if we release it, we, like, what they're building could become unstable in some way, shape, or form. Like the political attacks it's that sort of, you've got the freedom, we haven't kind of energy. You have abilities that we can't do, if you get me. It's that sort of thing. So let's get the prediction deck out and find out what's going on here. So I hope you're having a good day and all that jazz. The rain stopped, by the way. I don't know. It was very hard for very long. That was a quote from someone somewhere. And then it just abruptly stopped. And the innuendo is getting too much for me there. So we decided, you know what? Me and my multiple personalities. You know what? Let's do another reading while it stopped raining very hard. That we can actually hear each other. So yes, for the new boys and girls, we always do these raw. Oh, it's getting worse, isn't it? But I think we found out the reason why we're not gaining subscribers. But we do it so that you know that I'm not stacking the deck or putting things in different places and stuff like that, and you're seeing the cards as I do, all that jazz, to try and get as much transparency as possible, So, but if you would like to subscribe, ding-a-ling that bell and all that jazz to find out if it actually works. And also, thank you very much for liking and hyping if you get the option and all that jazz. It's like phenomenal. Thank you so much indeed for your generosity. Seriously, it's brilliant. So, Sun card. Commercial airline. Compromised. This feels, and maybe it's just because, what's his face? Tice did a press conferencey thing that I caught a bit of today, talking about send, but it feels very similar energies here. So like the commercial airline energy I'm getting is more about kind of business, private enterprise, private equity, that kind of thing. Yeah. Some sort of money-making enterprise thing, which is compromised. He was saying today that due to decisions made by Labour, that private equity firms are making 3 times as much per child student at send places run by them than what it cost when it was council run or whatever the equivalent, to the point where it's supposedly more expensive to do a send child than send somebody to Eton. That's Tice's figure. I don't know. I haven't checked. So, there was no pie chart. I don't. But this is the compromise, what I'm getting here. There's a clear connection between real, fake numbers based on a technicality, together, money, resources, that kind of thing. So let's have a look here. 10 of Wands. Transport. Moving. The movement there. The winds of change. So we're definitely they're moving their position, but like I said, it's behind the scenes, as it were. Hierophant. the society collapse feels very much like I was going to say abhorrent kind of like blatant BS kind of energy here. But it's bigger than that. It's like, how is this not fraud kind of energy? How are you claiming that you're supporting like X number of whatever this subject is? Like, I don't know, let's just choose an example to help me tell the story. I'm not saying it is, but like care homes for the elderly, right? How can you say that you're supporting like 1,000 elderly ladies and gents when actual fact you have physically real like 800, and then there's 200 over here that you've kind of fictionally made up to make that 1,000 to then just, it's that sort of energy that is, this feels like last straw. This is like Knight of Swords here, trying to hold on to power. Hermit, fake news. So the usual comeback. This is very interesting because the winds of change up here, they've moved their position as such, but they can't make it official. But the winds of change are definitely here from reform. That's definitely reform. This over here is kind of like the exposing of this money exercise thing, this numbers game. So it's going to be slammed as fake, outrageous, blah, blah, blah. So the scandal, because it's coming from the wrong place. But it's one of those situations where, like I said, and I hate to say the bandwagon, as it were, but the approach means that it's independent, as it were, kind of thing, if you get me. Queen of Pentacles. Surprise attack. This surprise attack here is like shocking. There's some sort of shock element to, it's like if you've got the 800, like as an example, the care home thing, if you've got 800 and then you've suddenly created 200 from nowhere, or they're still alive, bunny flops, or for like 18 months or something, or like some weird kind of accounting thing. You count them per year instead of when they kind of like, I was going to say expire, but sorry. But you know what I mean? When they stop being a client, a resident, it's that sort, it's like the shock of it. It's like, how many years has this been going on for? What sort of credibility is this all about? This kind of thing. It's that sort of it. Where else is this happening? What other resources are you wasting on? That kind of snowball effect. And it's like the usual kind of, oh, this happened in the Tories and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I'm bored of it. Two of Swords. Sinking ship. Pressure's on. This is going to be a situation, I can tell you right now, this is going to be a situation where they knee-jerk react, mainstream media, the usual suspects, ITV, Channel 4, BBC, Sky News, the news agents, holier than thou, they're going to kind of clench their pearls and like outrage and slander it and miss and that, blah, 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 blah. And within a week, it's going to turn into, now where are you? You know, it's that kind of energy. Based on further investigation via other outlets, suddenly they've got egg on face. Suddenly it's like, it's that sort of energy I'm getting right here. And then like Labour, Stuttery Starmer trying to do, then suddenly his mates, basically, egg on face. Suddenly they've got egg on face. Suddenly it's like more pressure, more kind of like sinking ship. And meanwhile, we're waking up like like proper buggery here. This feels like proper outrage kind of energy. It's similar to what I was saying concerning the anti-Semitic stuff, Labour, that kind of thing in the previous reading today. Like like bringing all the data smeared in multiple websites all in one place and suddenly realizing, oh my, what on earth is going on? It's that sort of energy, but there's clearly, I know we've got fake news, but we've got it's like this number is wrong. They know it's wrong. It is basically fraud. And you're basing like money spend on a fake number. It's that sort of thing. Five of Pentacles. Upright. There we go. There you go. It's got social media to do with this. I think Daddy Elon Musk is going to call it out. There is also something here, because obviously Daddy Elon and Tommy, I think there is, like I said earlier, I felt like there was a justice card thing. I think, like, kind of holding people accountable kind of energy, a legal challenge, consequences, accountability. Yeah? This is going to be massive. This is like a scandal that's been going on for about it feels like it's about 10 years, give or take. It's about that long, and it's and it's really, it's quite palpable, but it's something to do with numbers. I'm sorry to keep going back to that because I'm very confused. Like, what? We've explained it with all that kind of stuff, but it's like, what is this number? What is this about? What is this going on? Because this means that, like, the whole industry knows about it. It's like, it's not even a secret within the industry. It's explosive because it's like the break of trust kind of thing. So let's have a look here. The outcome to this reading, please. But this feels like it's proper. It's like proper, like, scandal. Like, everyone's hands are dirty kind of energy. I'm going to put this on the record, asterisk, right? There is something that directly connects Stuttery Starmer to this. Somehow. There is something that, like, based on this, like, I keep coming back to this legalese thing, that it started under his reign in like CPS. There's some, but I don't understand because it's like, excuse me, because it's, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to tap in, and it's just like really being elusive kind of thing. But it's definitely. But there's multiple. There's like whatever this is. There's genuine kind of like victims about it. Right? It's not just the people involved like locally, but there's like the taxpayer is a victim to this. There's like multiple, and they kind of all knew that Right, let's have a look here. So, let's have a butcher's. So, outcome. World card, new cycle. Wow. New change, new cycle. Death. Wow, it ends. Flirting with ideas, flirting with people here. Winds of change, the Queen of Pentacles. There's a prophet there. Sorry, I'm still going. I'm so sorry. I'm just constantly being dragged back to like there's a prophet element to it. There's like there's the fraudulent element to it. There's like there's so much here. I think there's some sort of based on these fraudulent stats. I think I've already mentioned that like legal actual real world decisions are being made based on fake statistics and all that kind of stuff. And it's like hidden in plain sight. But it's over. New triumphant over. Page of Cups. Flirting. Queen of Pentacles, Mumsy. We had Tommy with Queen of Pentacles. Now we've got Queen of Pentacles over here. That doesn't feel like Mumsy Tommy. That feels more like Mumsy reform. Page of Cups. Here's a suggestion. Here's an idea. Here's a way forward. Here's a proposal. But it's end of a cycle, quite literally twice. This doesn't feel like there's rebirth, reborn, renewal. This is just like, it's over. This racket, whatever it is over. You've been exposed. And then it's like, it's interesting right now, we've got a conclusion. How do we fix this? And like, we're genuinely taking this seriously, kind of energy, kind of like practicalities, that kind of thing. However, it's like, where's Labour in this? And like, Tommy's not here yet. There's Labour. Holding power, 10 of Pentacles, sharing the wealth. So already the devil, true colours shown. True colours shown. I know this is a pet peeve kind of thing of mine, and they're like, we don't go into it and that kind of stuff. There is something to do with, like, welcome to the tangent. Oh, excuse me, they really don't want me to talk about it. Jess Phillips, safeguarding minister, yeah? Supposedly really wants to support women and girls, safeguarding women and girls. There's supposedly a women and girls strategy plan that is one of the many that have not been published all this year. And it's been delayed. This is kind of exposing what we've kind of done on this channel a little bit in our own little way, where for the inquiry, the certain gangs inquiry, A majority of the time they just talk about women and girls, even though there have been, some lad victims involved as well. But they're focusing on women and girls, women and girls, women and girls. It's exposing the fact that by just as the safeguarding minister only focusing on women and girls, and I understand we've talked many times before, most likely to be, makes sense. But only focusing on that, only funding things like that, other victims, boys, etc., they're basically being excluded. You are not welcome, and this is exactly how trust me, I know, exactly, like, you're excluded because you're not a woman or girl, and we're only funded for women and girls services, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Okay? So it's something like that in plain sight that suddenly people realize, like, hold on, hold the phone. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's that sort of, especially when we're coming up to fake news. Yeah. And I got really miffed off. I did tweet it out, subtle plug, that it's interesting that the certain gangs, kind of Kemi and I can't remember his name, Phillips, isn't it? Chris Phillips or whatever his name is, did that press conference about the certain type of gangs and the ladies and all that kind of thing, and the panel and blah, blah, blah. A couple of weeks ago now, isn't it? Interesting how he was highlighting out of Parliament that there were some lads involved as well and that kind of thing. So, like, it's acknowledged outside of Parliament, but where it matters inside of Parliament, which is on the record, no mention, just women and girls. And I tweeted, it's like, it's interesting that outside you can, but inside you're not highlighting. And that matters. That genuinely, that is an important thing, right? So, fake news. There it is. I hate to say, so after they finally, like, this feels like sharing the wealth in the sense of really getting money's worth, refunds, maybe some compensation, that kind of thing. The justice really clearing out. This feels as if it's very similar. The reason why we're talking about the gangs as well, it feels very similar to the fact that councillors know, police know, this, that, and the other know. Some of them are even doing it, kind of thing, to fudge these numbers, kind of thing. It's that sort of energy, and they're trapped. Yeah, and then slowly but surely reaping the benefits. Notice the fact that the value, the worth of the certain type of gangs, it may not feel it. Ten of Pentacles, we all know it now. We all know it. We all know that, like, the more they delay and all that kind of stuff, the more it's clear that it's covering up. Okay, the more they put in their bestie mates labor-wise, rightly or wrongly, the connection there, the more we all know that majority of it happened under Labour councils, and majority, like, blah, blah, Labour's complicit in this in some way, shape or form, yeah, at certain echelons, yeah? So that's the wealth, we know. Now it's getting the justice. And no one's backing down. And I think, well, this is going back ages, but I hope, it's not going back to square one. The exposure, the surprise attack, everyone knows. Yeah? Everyone knows. It's just, and that's why the pressure is on to actually get justice. Okay? Surprise attack, Knight of Pentacles, that's some sort of compensation thing. Defending their ground, sinking ship, but it can't be defended. Uprising, truth again. This is the thing. Putting the work in, underlying energy, Queen of Cups. I know that we've gone away from, I think the starting catalyst here is this kind of unofficial agreement, kind of discussion, kind of giving data, evidence, that kind of thing to Tommy as kind of like a source kind of thing. Strength to do it. This is Queen of Cups. This is very much kind of and the reason for this that's just coming through right now, especially with the Devil card here, is that it has to be outside the media bubble. It has to come from outside of regulatory Ofcom kind of quotas and that kind of thing to truly show what's going on. The Knight of Pentacles, I said it was money, but a compensation or something, but it feels like it's like a feeble offer. I know it's a knight, but it's like compared to, it's all just to defend their ground kind of thing. It feels as if it's like from where their true colors lie, exposing themselves. It's like, so while you're saying flappy face, you're doing this, you're not doing anything about it. It's like smashing the gangs all over again. How many we can even check. Well, let's have a look at the Labour to-do list. Number of gangs smashed, 0. We've kept a tab. It's still 0. Other things has happened as well. But we just wanted to make sure. It's that sort of thing. It's like this isn't enough. Whatever it is, this Knight of Pentacles, it's not enough, and it's counteracted by truth, with stats, with data. Remember, we started slap bang in the middle with the Knight of Swords. It's kind of echoed back at them, and they can't do anything about it. Their position crumbles. It's like, oh, but working people, we're putting more money into X, Y, and Z today. You should be taking money out because the money there is being used by whatever the commercial side of it is, and the kind of like the enterprise around it. Oh, working people, we're going to investigate. We had no idea. Blah blah blah. The timeline says otherwise. Yeah, the timeline, and this is gonna, it's gonna go back to, well, it didn't cross my desk. Oh, working people. Which then question is like, well, what were you doing there if this didn't come across your desk and that didn't come across your desk and that one as well and that one as that? What specifically did come across your desk? It's that kind of energy here with the Devil, but it's full stop. This feels like it puts a phenomenal kind of, I'm seeing kind of emergency, kind of, I know it's Back to the Future again, but it's that time of year. Back to the Future 3, Doc Brown's missus has got the wrong end of the stick. She's leaving town. She overhears somebody behind her talking about his heartbreak and all that kind of thing. She realizes she's got it wrong, pulls the emergency brake, and then you've got the sparks from the train wheels on the like the screeching to a halt. That's what I'm seeing with that. Okay, it is. That's massive. That is a huge halt. But yeah. So then you've got like mending bridges and things like that. But it there's something here where this here is to cover their backside and justify themselves, and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, the Knight of Swords just doesn't make sense. It's kind of like minority. I keep getting the Minority Report for some reason. It just doesn't make sense, because if it's because it's comparison. It's some sort of comparison. It's like if you're doing it with that, then why are you not doing it with that or that? Because it makes no sense. It's like you're it's like a sandcastle foundation type thing. So let's have the Kipper deck. It's bugging me that I don't know what this is. Got everything around it, but so right. Imprisonment. There you go. That's where it's leading to. And I'll say now, a whiff of Hillsborough just came in and out. In the sense of, it felt like history repeating itself, not necessarily the actual horrific situation. It's the scandal around it and the manipulation of it around it. History repeating itself. Kind of energy there. So it's interesting that we got imprisoned twice. They're trapped, basically. Their evilness is exposed. Message, toil and labour, the sudden wealth again. The win, sudden wealth. The courtship is like I said, there's too many people behind the scenes all knowing about it. There's too many, they're like within the industry. I'll say this again. Within the industry is an open secret. Yeah? Open secret. Expectation. Got to think about this. Got to try and put the work in, try and all this kind of stuff. But no, it's an open secret. And it's not just one or two. It's rife. Nice. I appreciate we may have gone off-piste a little. But I do like this, at the base of it, this, of the foundation level, this, I'll say, respect for the two parties. Yeah? The Reform and Tommy and Nigel and all that. So, yeah. I've been told one... No, we've already done that, haven't we? We've done that underneath there. Yeah, the thoughts. I've just been told I'm a plonker. Put that down there. One more. Shut up. Shut up. There you go. I was being a plonker. I was a bit of a Rodney. So there you go. Once again, toil and labour, trapped in their lies. It's something to do, and we'll finish off this on this. I know I've been waffling, sorry, but there's something to do with the amount of laws to kind of sidestep to get to where they wanted to be. So it's like you and me couldn't get away with this. I'll say that now. There is like I said, with this, about the fraud thing and about the kind of manipulation of things and this, that, and the other, and there is so many hoops, so many things that if they were like doing their job, they wouldn't able to be done. Like you couldn't do it because it's breaking the law and you're doing this, that, and the other, and blah blah. But you see what I'm saying? It's like that's something there. But this goes back about 10 years. This goes back, yeah, about that. It feels like when Stuttery was at CPS sort of thing. And something to do. Oh, sorry, I'm like leaning back on my chair and kind of reflecting and reading the cards and things like that. There's something here to do with this is the real reason of the backlog. This kind of faking of numbers, this faking of thing, this faking of this. Anyway. Yeah, we'll finish it here now. So if you enjoyed this, thumb it. I don't know why. It makes me feel better, please. YouTube don't care. And hype if you want, and all that kind of stuff, if you get the option and blah, blah, blah. Please subscribe, ding-a-ling the bell, all that jazz. If I know we started off with Tommy and Nige. If you know of any other people that have kind of brought up here, it feels as if there may be some people who already know about this and like use their platform as well to build pressure. That's what it feels like. Interesting that finishing off there, I've just realised because I was a plonker, didn't put this card down. He's looking directly at the courtship, the helping each other out, like rubbing each other's back kind of thing, and being imprisonment, what they've done kind of thing, where this could lead kind of thing, especially with the courthouse. Anyway, courthouse twice. Anyway, until next time where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.